Good day, mate. I've ditched the accent. Boomerang time. Dimples. Will it fly true? Will it fly far? Will it fly? All these questions need to be answered. So I'm out here in the outback here. Outback of somewhere. And I spied myself a rabbit. So this cunning little rabbit is well, he's not very cunning actually. He's a little bit lazy. So he's a sitting duck or a sitting rabbit. Anyway, he's a cunning predator, and I think you'll find that he's just over there. So let's give it a go. It's not very far away, but the chance of me hitting it is going to be quite slim, I reckon, to be fair. That flew. Might have to increase the range. That's okay. Maybe not. I don't know. I suppose I could give it a little bit more elevation and see what happens. Let's just try throwing it the other way round. See if it dips. Yeah, I've definitely done something right. Yeah, throwing it upside down created a nose dive, and it actually buried into the ground slightly. So definitely got something going right with it, and we'll give it everything I've got. High, hard, and probably break it or lose it. But anyway. I've put an absolute age into making that. You wouldn't think it, but that was from a piece of oak. Very awkward piece of oak, and I haven't got any large machinery of any kind. So that's pretty much been whittled into that shape. I think the way forward here is it's not completely flat. There is a little kink in it, and I think that little kink is setting the whole thing off. So what I'm going to do is try to find a better piece of wood to do it. I'd like to keep it as one piece of wood, but if it comes to it, I would quite happily owl dye, I think would be best. Two perfect plain wings, and because I want it to fly, I want it to go outside. Cool, we're very close here, aren't we? Yeah, so I'll go and try and find that. Back to the drawing board. But dimples, did they work? I guess I'll speed all this up, I don't know. I haven't even really got much of a plan in order, really. I've got a lot more work to do on this bender yet, structurally, and also a few other ideas I've got coming. But this is basically what I'm trying to do with this Hazel. So if you see here, it's kind of twisted around this other one all the way up as we go, and that carries on through pretty much to the middle. So we've got a lovely little snake curl around that other piece of hazel, and that is ideally what I want. Structurally it'll be a lot stronger. I have managed to do that with most, but yeah, you just kind of have to forcefully twist it round while giving it a Chinese burn kind of thing, really. A lot of wrist strength needed, and that was about as thick as I could do, probably, especially towards the middle. But yeah, you just sort of Chinese burn it, twist it towards the direction you're going to bend it, and then just carry on going like that, twisting, folding, twisting, folding. Yeah, nice touch. That also allows for lots of other options for linking other branches. You could easily put another branch through that some way up the top there, and it would grab hold of that branch very securely. But yeah, just a little thing. Just so damp here. It hasn't stopped raining for 2 hours. There's a slight, it's turned into a drizzle, but I see some very black clouds. So I've just plucked a leaf from the, there's a mushroom in there, a leaf from the beech tree, which would be this yellow one, and a leaf from the hornbeam. You'll notice they are quite different. They do get confused together though, because they are both muscular looking trees. They both look like they've been working out in the gym, basically, I think. Very strong. Possibly more so with the hornbeam, but the key differences are that this is not very sharp serrated edges, if any at all. It's quite rounded. This has got tiny serrated, sort of like saw-like edge on the sides. Also, the channels are a lot deeper. The grooves, like you get with crinkle cut chips. They remind me of crinkle cut chips for some reason, more so than the actual beech. Originally, it would have been a major part of this countryside. It's also called Ironwood, and it is the strongest wood in the whole of Europe. So it's got its uses there. Admittedly, it's very difficult to work with because there's a lot of knots going along it, but it is a very tough wood. I think the Romans would make chariots out of it, and I think that the windmills and flour production and all that, where they've got big cogs, would also be made out of it purely because of its strength. It's literally iron wood. A lot of weight in it. It has got issues. I'll go closer to have a look at it, just to identify it a little bit more. But it's quite easily recognisable, mainly from the trunk, I would say, is its biggest giveaway. It should keep its leaves all year round, whereas the beech will drop theirs as it is already. I just saw one drop as we speak, and they will lose theirs. So it's a good camping option because it provides that shelter, and if it's a good camping option, it's quite often a very good wildlife option. They kind of go hand in hand, and that is the case. It provides shelter for so much wildlife during the colder months, especially. Unfortunately, there are other things that like to eat it, and it causes a fair amount of damage, but they can take quite a lot of punishment. Let's just go and have a closer look at it. So here we have the Hornbeam on the left and the beech on the right. You can see the damage I'm talking about. Apparently it's squirrels, and they can strip nearly a whole tree in a couple of days if they feel the need. I don't know what it is they gain from doing this, but apparently it is squirrels. You would often think it would be a creature rubbing up against it, I think, because it's often sort of waist height. But then if you look further up, you'll see obviously, unless a brontosaurus has been walking through this area, it hasn't been, it can't be deer. It just goes all the way up. But it's a survivor, it's Ironwood. It can live a good 300 years plus. So it's used to punishment. What you'll find is usually the case, I'm not sure if that's 100%, but if I get down here by this old rake, or whatever it is, not quite sure what that is, but yeah, this is just a dead branch. But as we get in here, you can see this is the good bark. Obviously this is the bark that's been nibbled away at for some kind of nutrient, or maybe just cleaner teeth. I have no idea, but there is a piece of bark still running down, and so long as it makes its way all the way down, a part of the tree is usually good enough to keep that tree going. I think if you ring bark this right to the inner bark, it would fall over, but not as easily as perhaps other trees would. It's a survivor, and it's a very strong piece of muscular wood. You can see how strong that looks. If I show you a branch, it's quite distinctive. You can see here another hornbeam, muscular. But if you look closer at these branches here, you'll see one of the problems with it is that it's very knotty. Every inch, at least, there is a knot. So that makes it obviously difficult to work with. Continuous knotting going up this branch here is very typical of a lot of hardwoods. It kind of is one of the reasons why it is a hardwood, because they all add strength to it, but also weaknesses at the same time. But it's a much denser piece of wood. That saying, I would like to try and make a rustic spoon out of a piece of this, not this, but preferably a dead branch somewhere. Not too recently dead, but dead all the same. And make myself a spoon. Try and work my way through those knots with sandpaper and raspers, things like that, because I want that ironwood, quite frankly. It sounds too inviting to not give it a go at least. So yeah, this is a new one for me. only done a little bit of research about it. The name Hornbeam, horn is kind of an ancient word, I don't know what dialect, for tough, basically, horn, tough, and beam obviously is an old word for wood, so it's quite easy to see where the name came from. It's tough wood. So they've got a very brief summary of the hornbeam. It is in decline in this country quite seriously, because it has no real value as such. It does make a good firewood, but it's long growing, 300 years, and it's just not a favoured choice for plantations with its limited uses. So what was prolific in this area is becoming very much rarer. This is the first time I've seen hornbeam in this area, and it was planted here by the landowners. So it's such a shame, really, that it's always the case that money prioritises what people grow rather than, say, providing an habitat for lots and lots of creatures to live in, providing shelter all year round, and lots of other little things. There's lots of birds that like to eat the little catkins and the little bits and pieces that fall off of it. It's a good, healthy tree to have. And the birds around here are, there is a lot of birds around here, and I can understand why, because this ecosystem around here is very good for the birds. Whoever planned, well, I know who planned most of this planting here, has done a very good job in picking out specific varieties of trees in areas that are suitable for it, for the environment and wildlife. I would like to have seen a few more birch on the outskirts of the willow, as is often the case naturally. You will get goat willow, alder, right in there, right in the middle of the ponds and whatnot in the bog. And then on the outskirts from there, you'll slowly get birch, and they are just such a fantastic tree to have for so many reasons. It's a provider of life generally. It's called the Lady of the Woods or Mother Nature or whatever. The birch is probably my favourite tree, probably. But yeah, just don't tell all the other ones.